it seems like you and the NDP have accepted every debate. There's not a debate you said no to yet. What do you make about this jockeying for what debate, when, why, and how many Canadians it will reach? What's the NDP view?
Well, we've been very clear from the very beginning, and we've been, sort of telegraphing for a long time that we wanted to have more debates than the few that we only had, I think, 2 last time.
That's right.
So we were very clear that we wanted to have more debates because we think that that's good for democracy. We were also very clear that we want as many opportunities as possible for Tom Mulcair to debate Stephen Harper. So that's a primary issue for us as well. We felt that it was very important not to shut anything down and to agree. Some of those debates may or may not happen, depending on other things that are going on. But we've been very clear that we don't want to shut anything down. And most of the debate proposals that have come forward have been good debate proposals. We would want to discuss details with them, with all of them, about venue and format and all of those sorts of things. But certainly, I see no reason to say no to any of the ones that I've seen so far.
Would Tom Mulcair debate Justin Trudeau and Elizabeth May and the main broadcasters if they actually host an event and Stephen Harper says, I'm not going to be there? Would Tom Mulcair still show up and debate that?
We'll have to discuss. It'll depend on what happens. At the moment, what I said today, and I've been very clear about that, is that we've given our approval in principle, our agreement in principle to the consortium debates. We hope that the Conservatives will participate, and we're very hopeful that Stephen Harper will be there. Is
that a little asterisk, like the small print? I know you say an agreement in principle. In other words, if Stephen Harper doesn't show up, are the NDP already signaling, well, then there's no debate there, in which case there's not a lot of pressure for Mr. Harper to show up if the NDP is already saying, we're still thinking about it?
We've said agreement in principle to most of the debate proposals that have come in. As a matter of fact, the only one that we've actually concretely, firmly sort of settled in stone, I think, is the Maclean's-Rogers debate.
Right.
Because we gave our agreement in principle, and then we had the negotiations around the details and agreed firmly to that one.
I've been a little bit surprised that the NDP have gone along with that, and it basically said wherever Stephen Harper is going to be, will be there too. So that's an important principle as well.
What makes you think that that doesn't follow,
well,
Rob?
Because if Stephen Harper, if you take Corey at his word that Stephen Harper is going to do 3 English debates and 2 French debates, and you take your word, which I do, I think both of you are great people and I like both of you, that Tom Mulcair will be wherever Stephen Harper is going to be, then Tom Mulcair is going to do 3 English debates and 2 French debates.
We have not said that we would only be where Stephen Harper was. We have said that we want the most debates possible, that we want Tom Mulcair to debate Stephen Harper, but we have not shut down any.
So you're committed to linguistic. No, but Anne, that's important. Are you committed to linguistic equality in the debates in this campaign?
I am completely in favor of having linguistic duality. Yes. So we have not said that we would only be where Stephen Harper was. We have said that we want the most debates possible, that we want Tom Mulcair to debate Stephen Harper, but we have not shut down any.
So you're committed to
the NDP announcement today that the party is going to pull out of any leaders' debates that do not involve Stephen Harper. The federal election campaign expected to kick off as early as Sunday. The NDP had initially agreed, at least in principle, to participate in debates hosted by Canada's biggest broadcasters. The Prime Minister has already said he will not be at the podium for those particular debates. So what's behind the NDP move to change course? Joining me now, the NDP National Director, Anne McGrath. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you.
So what is behind the move? Why are you saying if Stephen Harper's not there, we're not going to be there either?
So we've been saying from the very beginning that our goal with respect to the federal election debates was to have more debates and to have Tom Mulcair debating Stephen Harper. And we were very clear about that in all of the discussions that we've had, those were our primary goals. We were hopeful that Stephen Harper would agree to participate in more debates. We have several debates that we are doing. We're doing one, for instance, next week. And we looked at the more than 24 proposals that we've agreed to in principle and decided we have to make a decision about which ones we're going to be able to do. You're right, it looks like the election is going to be called this August long weekend. So it's time now to start sort of putting some more structure around the campaign. And so in order to make a decision about which debates we were going to do, we had to lay out some considerations.
So the deadline that you've imposed here, the Friday, August 7th, is that a deadline for Stephen Harper to change his mind? Is it a deadline for the consortium and for others who have offered the debates to try and convince him to show up? Who's the deadline for?
The deadline is for us to basically certainly see there may be other organizations that want to put forward proposals. Maybe there are other organizations that put forward proposals that will meet some of the criteria that we've laid out. So we want to make a decision at around that time about which debates we'll be able to participate
Right,
in.
but you know that within a week, you're probably not going to get all those criteria met for all these debates that you're putting forward. So it's sort of a false deadline. I mean, in some ways, for these people.
Not necessarily. I mean, we've been receiving so many. I mean, we're still receiving debate proposals, right? And at some point, you have to say, okay, we're going to make some decisions now. And so we said, what are the criteria? Things like a nonpartisan hosting organization, issues to be debated that matter to a great number of Canadians, and the presence of other political leaders, primarily Stephen Harper.
So what do you say to Elizabeth May, who says that you are colluding with the Conservatives to keep her out of the debate, and one could even go a step further than what she's suggesting and put the squeeze on the Liberals?
Well, I don't really want to comment on, kind of people's ideas about what our motivations may or may not be or what we're doing. I can assure you that we are making decisions on these debates based on what is in the best interests of a robust debate during the federal election campaign.
But a robust debate would be a venue where there are as many as 14 million people who are going to watch the debate. Prime Minister says he's not going to show up. But if you say, as early as August 7th, oh, we're not going to show up either if he's not going to be there, you sort of let him off the hook, haven't you? Why not let it go all the way up to October 7th? And if he doesn't show up, too bad for him.
We've been pushing for him to participate from the very beginning, and we were very clear on that in all of the discussions that we had. But as you said, the election campaign is starting this weekend, most likely. Yeah. It is starting this weekend, so we have to make some decisions, and those decisions have to be based on something.
It's 77 days. I mean, you have some time here. It's not like that. It's not like that particular debate, at least the consortium debate, is around the corner. You have time to try and push him a little further, pressure him into coming, don't you?
And I'm still hoping that he will. I'm hoping that we'll be able to make a decision, and we'll have an equal number of French and English debates, that Stephen Harper will be present, and that Tom Mulcair will be able to debate Stephen Harper. I think that's what Canadians want to see. They want to see the leader of the opposition, Tom Mulcair, debating the Prime Minister, Stephen Harper, because Tom Mulcair is interested in becoming the Prime Minister.
Yeah, I get that, and I get why you may want to only debate him and position yourself for that debate. But what I don't get, and what I think a lot of people out there don't get, is why the NDP would choose to walk away from a venue where there'll be lots of eyeballs, and it's being interpreted as letting the Prime Minister off the hook. You're saying, okay, don't bother showing up, we won't either.
No, what we're saying is we want the Prime Minister to be there, and we're saying that we want to debate the Prime Minister. And we have already accepted some debates that we will be at, that the Prime Minister will be at. I hope that lots of people watch those debates. I think a lot of people will watch them. I think there'll be a lot of interest in this federal election. The stakes are very high, and there are most people in the country want change.
Okay, Anne McGrath, thanks for coming back. Good to see you again. We'll talk again, I'm sure, many times. Thank you.